Okay.
Cool, go. All right, so good afternoon everyone. My name is Andrew Krigo and I'm the CEO of Cornell Baja Racing. I brought along with me today Jackson Coyle. He's our Vice President of Marketing at the company. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the company, our new product, which is ODX, which we're hoping to be launching next year. As well, Jackson's going to jump into our marketing plan, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our manufacturing plan and our financials, how we're actually going to back this up and bring this product to market, actually make it a reality. But first, a little bit about the company. We've been around for 10 years. It's 10 years of experience amongst our engineering staff and our marketing and management staff, so we feel like we've got a really strong company. Our key points, though, is safety, reliability, high performance, and most of all, having fun. We build these off-road recreational vehicles. The purpose is to have fun. And I really think that the last sentence in our mission statement sums up our company. We do all this because we too are passionate about blazing new trails. And that is something, like that sentence is in the heartbeat of every person who works at the company. So on the next slide, we've got a short video that showcases our new product, ODX. I think, hope you guys enjoy it. It shows how much fun it can be to go out with some friends, your family, drive the car, have some burgers and have a good time. So let's watch that. So that's a brief lead into ODX, our new product. It's pretty lightweight. You may have noticed on that tabletop there, our test driver Brent actually got some air with the car. We have a custom manufactured transmission. It features a fully custom continuous variable transmission as well as a chain drive that we've designed and built in-house. You can tune that if you want. You can tune the air shocks as well. It has a carbon fiber body, which makes it kind of cutting edge. It also helps keep our weight down. It's easy to transport. This thing's only 300 pounds. Two guys can pick it up. You saw in the video, we rolled in with the truck. It was on a trailer. You can actually just, put down the back of the pickup truck. Two guys pick it up, throw it in. The back will close, and you can just drive around like that. I'm 6'2". I fit in the car comfortably. It's, even though it fits in the truck, it's not really that small. So at this point, I'm going to turn things over to Jackson to talk a little bit about our marketing strategy.
Thank you, Andrew. Now, let me introduce you to our target market here. They are Todd and Kara. Todd and Kara are your average, 25, 55-year-old couple. They're a family. They've got 2 kids. They make $75,000 a year. They love watching their son play baseball on the weekends. And when they're not watching his games, they like to go outdoors. He's a hiker, she's a fisherman. Like, they'd love to be in the outdoors. When they go outdoors with their family, they like to bring their toys. And when Todd and Kara are in the market to buy a new toy, they've only really got 3 options right now. You can look at, dirt bikes, which are represented up there with the Yamaha. You can look at ATVs, which are represented with the Honda. And you can look at your more like, your personal vehicles like the Polaris that I've got up there. Now, all these vehicles have different attributes to them, some good, some bad. Some are high-performing vehicles like that Yamaha. You can take that dirt bike anywhere, you can get up any trail, but it's not necessarily the safest thing in the world. It doesn't have a roll cage, no seat belt, not the safest thing for the family. And then you've got things like the Polaris, they've got that roll cage, but they just can't get everywhere. They're a beastlier car. That Polaris weighs in at like 800 pounds. It's not that light. It's hard to get around. Now, we introduced to the market ODX. It dominates in both categories. It's a high performer and it's safe for the family. And here's why. In terms of performance, we went with a simple, reliable design. This thing has no learning curve to get in and drive. You can get in it. If you've ever driven a car before, you'll know what you're doing in this vehicle. It doesn't have the learning curve that ATVs have. It doesn't have the learning curve that dirt bikes have. Anyone can jump in this and drive it, whether you're a novice or you've been driving these things for years. And if you have been driving these things for years, there's even more options for you. Like Andrew mentioned before, it's got a fully tunable CVT that you can get in there and tune yourself. You can adjust the shocks yourself with a pipe pump, or if you don't really feel up to that, you can take it into our shop and we'll adjust them for you. It is by far one of the higher performing vehicles on the market. In terms of safety, with a fully integrated roll cage and a 5-point harness, it's a very safe vehicle, so that when Todd takes his son out on the weekend, Kara doesn't have to worry about either of them getting hurt. They'll be completely safe no matter where they take this thing. And as you can see in our picture there, we have one of our professional drivers on a closed course, obviously. He's taken through his car through some phases, and he actually experienced a rollover. And after that rollover, not only was he completely uninjured, but the car was actually able to complete the course without any damage, any reparations needed. So it is really just a well-built, rugged vehicle. Getting more into the specs of our vehicle, of why it's better than some of these other cars, as you can see clearly, it's dominating the market in suspension travel. Wheelbase, it comes close to that Polaris. It's not quite as sturdy as the Polaris, but it's very sturdy, and it fits in the back of a pickup truck. Not only does it fit in the back of that pickup truck, but at 300 pounds, you and your son can lift it into the back of the pickup truck. Try lifting that 800-pound Polaris into the back of that truck. Now, I'm going to tell you how we're going to sell these things. We've got a $350,000 budget every year allocated to marketing. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our vehicle on the ads and magazines like this. UTV action, you're going to be flipping through this, and you see all the dirt bikes you're used to, the Polaris vehicles you're used to, and then you're going to see ODX right there on the cover. You're going to say, hey, there's this new vehicle on the market, I might want to check this out. It looks really cool. And where are you going to check that out? You're going to go down to our showroom where we're giving free factory tours. Everyone is welcome. We'll show you how we're building the car, and it'll make you really feel like we're building this car personally for you. You can talk to our engineers, you can see the process, get more involved with the design than we would with these Polaris or these Yamaha vehicles. Aside from that, we're going to have a very avid social media campaign. You saw that video at the beginning that had one of our drivers in it. But you know, in a month, 2 months, that could be one of you guys in it, driving the car. You post it to Facebook, maybe we'll send you a t-shirt, we can do some Q&A. Makes the experience a whole lot more personal. Like we're really dealing with you as a customer on a one-on-one basis. You're not just another one of the masses buying this vehicle. We're doing this car for you individually. And then finally, we're hitting these expos. We're going to be at the East Coast in June, West Coast in October, and nothing sells a car better than when you come down to the expo, you get in it yourself, you see how it feels, you take it for a test drive, and you really get to experience it for yourself. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Andrew, and he's going to talk to you about manufacturing and finance.
Thanks, Jackson. That's awesome. So our manufacturing plant, this is the building that we want to build to manufacture our cars. It's going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Rust Belt. We've already got engineers and machinists lined up. If you look here, all our raw material and components are coming in here. We've got cellular manufacturing kind of located in a loop. We're going to loop around to where this final assembly is down here. We're pushing out 12 cars a day. That's we got to do 12 cars a day to hit our 4,000 a year goal. So we're using a just-in-time inventory system with Kanban. It's going to be an electronic system that's going to coordinate with our suppliers. As we pull components out of our inventory, as we pull raw material out of our inventory, it's going to hit our suppliers, tell them to send us some more so we can keep cranking these cars out. As Jackson alluded to a moment ago, our showroom's up here in the front. There's windows you can see in if you stop by. We'll also give you a tour. Cost, $10,300 for this car, which is slightly higher. This is our entry price. Than the $8,000 it costs to manufacture. The video you saw a prototype vehicle. We're going to lower the cost from that prototype vehicle by doing a couple things. We're outsourcing all our heat treatment and the electronic packages in the vehicle because we don't need to do that in-house. We're going to cast as many of the components as we can. We're going to post CNC machine them instead of machining everything straight from billet. And then we're also having our engineers constantly improving the design of the car and make it easier to assemble and crank out on the line. This is our financial plan for the next 4 years. You can see there's a $1.4 million investment day one. That's to build the plant, to fill it with the machines we need, the CNCs, the mills, the lathes. During year one, we're bringing on our machinists, we're bringing on our engineers. So you can see our costs are going up. But we're going to actually break even year one with shipping 75% of our annual goal of 4,000 cars. And this is where we're hoping you guys can come in. We want you to become part of the Cornell Baja Racing team. We're looking for a $3.5 million investment. In return, we're giving you a 45% equity stake in the company. We're breaking even in 1 year. We're using a net present value calculation with a rate of return of 13%. Your investment's going to help us that first year, getting that plant going and cover the cost that first year so we can start to break even as soon as possible. So that's ODX. Together, we're hoping that we're going to rule the trails. And at this point, Jackson and I will take any questions you guys may have.
How much money will I have at the end of 5 years if I have a $3.5 million investment in year one?
So at the end of 5 years, we go back to the table. So we're splitting this about 45%. You're looking at like $5-6 million.
And in your production plan, that's one production line. How many shifts? I'm working out the math. 12 a day. Are you working weekends or are you working 2 shifts? What are we doing?
We're working 5 days a week, 2 shifts.
2 shifts. Okay.
2 shifts, yeah.
Okay.
So we're phasing in on that first year. It's like 75% of our goals. We're not going to hit the 4,000 that first year. We're ramping up production, but then we think we can hit the 4,000 goal every year after that.
How will you ever get the vehicle to 300 pounds? What exactly are you doing to get that?
All right, cool. So if you actually want to pull up that picture real quick of the car at the end. So we mentioned the carbon fiber body panels. The suspension is unique in our vehicle. It's all aluminum suspension, so that's like saves 8 pounds over like a steel suspension. The frame fits around like the 95th percentile male. It's not like overly large. Everything has been optimized just for mass. It's all aluminum, uprights, calipers, hubs, everything throughout. It's just been optimized for weight.
And it's custom hubs?
We have custom hubs. Everything, 90% of the car is just custom made.
Okay, go back to your production line then.
The map of the production
Please,
floor.
yes.
Sorry.
I guess what I'm wondering is, do you show on there any of the machine?
So basically we have like cell setup. So the hubs are going to be made in our wheel assembly area. We're going to set up a CNC mill in each of the wheel assembly areas, the upright area, as well as the gearbox, casing, and internals areas. There'll be also like a manual mill, manual lathe in each of those cells to do some of the lighter operations. So hubs are going to be made in each of the wheel assembly areas and then the uprights.
So your frame is probably your pacing item.
Yep.
So how do you make sure you don't have a lot of inefficiencies? Because those machines are going to be expensive, right?
Mhm.
So how do you make sure that you're keeping those machines busy 24/7, or however you're going to you understand how?
Yeah,
Have you done a time study on all those, or?
Well, we know that we realize that the frame's the pacing item because there's a lot of like hand, mitering and then welding
Sure.
everything together. So we've allocated a lot more space to that there. Each of these areas, this is like 1,200 square feet here. So this is like 3,600 feet. So we're trying to crank out more frames like fast, or we have more frames in parallel than each of the uprights and hubs.
Sure. Okay.
What are some of the items on the vehicle that you're getting supplied with, like off the shelf from outsourced companies?
Yeah, so that's Briggs & Stratton's got the engine, Fox has got the shocks, then the tires we're getting from Maxxis, and that's pretty much it. Everything else
Really?
here,
Everything else is made, isn't it?
everything else is made custom.
Wow.
So I've heard a lot of presentations today, but you've got my attention. So did you say you're going to be able to offer the customer a custom configuration to these cars, or is it all going to be, like if you went down to the Honda dealer, you just get a model XYZ? What is your approach to that?
Jackson, you got the
Yeah.
questions, right?
Actually, yeah, that's a great question. What we're going to do is we're going to offer a base model that everyone will start at. That $10,300 price, that was for a base model that comes with everything you saw equipped. However, both through our showroom and through a website that we'll offer and through other showrooms throughout the nation, we're going to give the customer the ability to select some basic options as well as call us and request more advanced options. Now, basic options, I'm talking about things like color, seat configuration, basic stuff like that you're going to be able to order through a website or through a showroom dealer. Pretty simply, like you would pick out a model of a car. And then if you want some more advanced stuff, since we're making everything custom, we can do custom orders. So if you're really into these vehicles, you really want like that special CVT that does this specific like range of CVTs or this specific range. Or you want like that custom gearbox that has a specific ratio. Or like you want these shocks so you can do bouldering. You want to optimize for bouldering. We can make that for you.
And you go to your website and look up, say, hey, use these length A-arms and use this shock tuning and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So do you have a, well, I think you answered my question actually. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so you can either get it to drive off the showroom, or you could order one to match whatever options you want to get on it, right?
Yep, exactly.
Exactly.
And we're going to be enlisting like different power sports, motorsports dealers around the country, they can order these and sell like that stock model just straight from their showroom floor too.
You mentioned a dealer network. What made you decide to go through a dealer network versus direct to the customer marketing?
That's a good question too. And obviously, we're going to have some direct customer marketings like ads in our in magazines.
Well, I'm not marketing, but I mean, why can't I just go to you and buy it and I don't have to pay the dealer the money?
Oh, I see what you're asking, yeah. So our offices are, as we've said, we're going to be located in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and with a starting cost and a starting company like this, it really isn't economical for us to locate offices nationwide to be able to have you come to us and buy one of these cars. It's really a much better business plan if we go to these dealers and let the dealers take a little bit of a cut, so you're going to be paying a little bit more, but having this dealer network is going to be able to let us reach a lot more customers across a lot larger area a lot faster. If we did this office network where you'd have to come in and like order the car straight from us, sure, it might be cheaper, but that's going to take us a lot more time to implement. And really, we want to get these out on the market as fast as possible. And then when we start turning a profit or demand starts increasing or something like that, we can use some of these profits to branch out, expand our manufacturing, locate manufacturing in other cities, or put offices in other cities so that you can buy them out of our showrooms instead of out of the
So I show up the dealer, give him my money, he's already got it assembled for me. I just put it in the back of my truck and go have fun.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
it'll fit in my pickup truck.
Exactly.
Do you think you can get up to the 4,000 year one, or would you have a ramp up plan for that?
I think we can get up there to the end of, by year 2 we're going to be doing 4,000, we're going to be doing like 3,000 that first year. I think our ramp up plan, we're anticipating it's going to be slow coming in, we got to bring the suppliers online, and so we didn't want to set our sights too high.
So what would you do? You know, we're talking about a 5-year time frame here,
Yep.
you know, and people always want to see progress. What would you do in, you know, over the 5 years to be preparing for the next model? Or would you just wait and see how the market develops, and how would you approach that?
Right, so there's 2 things we're going to do. One, I mentioned that there was like an entry price for this car, so it's $10,300. Over time, as we start to saturate that price point, we're going to be bringing that down because we want to just flood the market with these vehicles. So that's the first thing we're going to do. The second thing we're going to do, we've allocated for in our finances as well as in our plan space for engineering because we want to be developing that next model. 5 years down the road, we're planning to release that next model and repeat this cycle.
Cool.
Excellent.
Sound good?
Yeah, I think you've answered my questions.
All right, any other questions?
Can't think of anything else. You guys got it pretty well
Yeah,
covered.
very good.
What are your majors?
I'm a mechanical engineer. I minor in business.
Okay.
I'm just a mechanical engineer.
Just a mechanical engineer. You are the mechanical engineer. I am him.
Are you backing yourself or
No, I'm electrical.
nothing wrong?